Hello everyone. So today we'll be discussing some database commands related to date and time. We'll be concentrating more on the date and time commands initially, and later we'll see how other database commands are done. So I'll quickly start our MySQL, and to start MySQL, we have to find the control panel of Xampp. We can search the Xampp, and we can start the Xampp. In the previous session, we have learned how to install Xampp and how to use Xampp. So I'll be quickly starting Apache and MySQL, and then move on to the admin. And here comes the admin, wherein we can create database, we can create tables, we can insert, delete, and manage records. So let's begin. First of all, I'll start with creating a database. Database is basically a collection of tables. All the tables that are required in one project are usually kept in one database. It is like a folder in which a lot of files in the form of tables will be stored. So what is a database? A database is a collection of tables that we use usually in one project. So how do we create database in PHP My Admin? It's very simple. In the left panel, you can see there is a new option. You just click this new, and here you have to provide the name of the database. And I am giving the name of the database as university. And I'm just clicking the create command, and we have the university database created. As you can see in this left panel, we have a university database. As of now, there is no table in it. So first of all, we'll create a table, and university, okay. Uh, Suppose we want to remove this database, then we have command drop database name. We can drop the database using the drop database command, drop database, and then we give the name of the database as I have misspelled, and then we have the clean command. You can see we have dropped the database. If it is not required, or if we have created with some spelling mistake, we can also rename it. But since there was no table in it, if there would have been some tables and some records in it, then deleting the database was not a good option. In that case, we would have renamed it. So I'll create another database, same command, new. I'll go to the database here. I'll give the name university. I hope this time we have spelled it correctly. And then I'll click the create button, and we have this database created. Now, in this database, we do not have any table. So I'll quickly come to the select command, SQL here, and I'll give the create table staff. As university will have some staff, so what will be the the different columns in it will mention ID is of int type. Then we'll have the staff name. This will be of varchar. This varchar is a data type, character type, and we'll mention the size in bracket. This is variable length character type, which means that if the value is less than 100, then only that particular bit will or byte will be used, which have been used for storing the value. For example, if we have Raj, then only 3 bytes will be used and remaining will be free. Then we will have a department column, where n will be, sorry, we can give a department number that will be of int type, and then we'll use date of birth will be of date type, and then we'll have email maybe of varchar This is all we want to have in the staff table. We want to have integer ID, the name, the department, the date of birth, and the email. We are keeping it short just because we want to concentrate on the syntax, how we use it. And then we have this go button at the bottom right side. I'll click the go button and a staff table has been created. So you can see on the left panel, under the university database, now we have a staff table. At present, we do not have any records in it. If we want to see the columns, we can see the columns from this list. This list has the list of columns. It is department number, date of birth, email ID, and S name in this way. All these columns are being shown in the alphabetical order. Now, if we want to insert some values in it, then I'll quickly come to the SQL editor option and I'll write the insert command. Insert into, this is the command, insert into table name. The table name is a star. Then we mention the uh, column names. It is ID. Then we have the staff name. Then we have department number, suppose. Then we have date of birth. Then we have uh, email. So these are the 5 columns. And then we'll write the values. So ID is suppose 1, the name is suppose Ravi Ranjan Kumar. Then we have the department number, suppose 10. Then we have the date of birth. Now, date of birth is given in YYMMDD format by default. So we have to enter it this way, YY, then MM, suppose it's 3, and then it's DD, suppose 10. And then we have to provide the email, which is suppose Ravi 123 at the gmail.com, and then we'll complete it by closing the bracket. Now try to concentrate on this insert command. Most of you might have already used this, but some of you may not have used, so we'll be going slowly. Insert into table name, then we have to provide the list of columns. This list of columns can be in any order. It is not required that in the same order that we have created the table, we have to provide it here. We can give it in any order. We can start with S name, we can start with DOB, whatever. But the order in which we have mentioned these columns, the same order we have to provide the values, and the same number of values are to be put in. So this there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 columns. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 values are to be provided. We have to note here that the varchar, the char, the data types will have the value in single quotes, and those values which are of numeric nature will be without quotes. So the ID is of integer type and department number is also of integer type. So we have not put in any quotes here, but we can put quotes in all the columns as well. So what I'm doing, I'm quickly copying this command so that we can execute it again, and we have a go button at the bottom, and we have inserted one record inserted, and then if we want to see it, we can see it through the browse button. So we have a browse button here. You can see we have one record here, one Ravi Ranjan Kumar, department number is this, date of birth is this, and email. Okay, so this is simple. Now we want to insert one more record. I'll quickly come to the SQL, and here I'll give the command once again. But this time I want to show that I'm putting this values also in single quotes. Let us see how it behaves. This is for employee ID 2, and this is um, and this is the department. This may be 95, and we have this record. So let us try to see. Yes, record inserted. That means, as per rule, every column you can put it in quotes, but whenever we are putting the values in of integer or numeric nature, we can write it without quotes. But whenever it is of character type, it has to be mandatorily in the single quotes only. So I'll insert one more record, and I'll quickly come to the SQL. I'll copy it. Now this time, suppose I want to enter only three values. Then I'll do it this way. Suppose ID, S name, and date of birth. So ID is suppose 3. Name is maybe Ranjan. 20. This is again suppose quotes, and uh, suppose this. So ID, name, and date of birth. We do not need other values, so I'll be deleting it. So it is ID 3, name is Ranjan Ray Kumar. Then we do not need this also. Now, suppose we put it here. Let us see what error comes. So there are three columns, so there should be three values. I'll copy it so that it will save some time, but I'll try to execute this command, and here comes the error that the column count does not match the value. You can see at the bottom, the column count does not match the value. Column count is 3 and the value count is 4, so we cannot put it this way. Now let us delete it, and then we'll see. So one more record inserted. I can click the browse button, and I can see that there are three records, and some of those values are null. How to manage these null values? We'll see to null values management also through commands. So these are the three information that are available. Now, to start with, suppose we want to make some changes here. As of now, it is not allowed because this table does not have any primary key or any auto incremented key. So if we had an auto incremented key, then the life would have been easy because we can directly manage these records from here. So what we should do is, in every table, I'm coming to the structure of the table. And here in the structure, I'll add one more column. I'll put it before, at the beginning of the table. I want to add one more column. I'll give the column name as record number. It is of integer type. And here, if you can see, and let me scroll. Here, if we scroll, yes, there is an auto increment AI checkbox. So if we check that auto increment, then it is automatically set as primary key. And now I will save this. I've changed the structure of the table. So we now have a record number as a key. You can see there is a key symbol shown, and here you can see there's a auto increment value added. Now if I browse, what will happen? See, we have got directly some features to edit, copy, delete. So these are the records, IDS name, department number, and we can directly edit it from here itself. We can copy these records that we have. We can delete the record if we do not want directly from here. We can all do it from here if we have this auto incremented table as primary key. So how do we change it? Suppose this is the department number 20 for the record number 2. So I'll click the edit button and I'll quickly change this to department number 20. Maybe the date is also changed. We can make the changes and then we can click go. So in this way, we can very easily manage the records. So it is advisable that every table that we create should have one auto increment column at the beginning. It can be anywhere, but preferably at the beginning, and it should be auto increment so we can do it, manage records very easily. Now coming to the SQL once again, what we have to do here is we have to see the records. So I'll use the command select asterisk from a star. Asterisk means all columns. So when we have to view all columns from the table, then we write it this way, select asterisk from a star. And if we click the go button, it will show all the columns here. You can see all the columns are being shown. I'll come here once again and maybe select. I don't want to see all the columns. Then I'll mention I want to see ID. I want to see staff name. I want to see date of birth. I want to see email. Suppose these are the columns in which I'm interested. So I'll mention the columns. So once I mention the columns, we'll see only those columns which we have mentioned. You can see the columns which we have mentioned are being shown, and those columns which we have not mentioned are left out. So I'll copy this command once again. And here you can see that in this date of birth, by default, the format is different. And now we want to see it in the format that we understand. We usually work in DD, MM, YY format. So there are different ways in which we can handle that. And in today's session, we are concentrating on the date format, how we can format the date, which is very useful whenever we'll be doing our projects. Then we cannot show to the user the date in this format. The date is usually in India, we show it in DDM and YY, so we have to process it that way. So I'll come to this SQL once again, and I'll give the command. And to see the date in a different format, what we can do, we will be concentrating on that. So I have prepared a list of formats that we can use for date, and I'll try to quickly show it with all of you. Yes. These are the formats. So MySQL date format function, we have a date format function is used to print date in different format. And the syntax for the date format is we have to mention the date or the column in which the date is available, and then we have to use the format. So this is the date format function, which has two parameters. The first parameter is the date or the date column, and the second parameter is the format. Now, format can be mentioned in %A, %B, %C. These are the different values in which we can mention the date format, and how we can use this. I'm showing it here. So suppose we mention select employee ID, employee name, date of birth from employee. So it will show it this way: employee ID, employee name, and date of birth. You can see the date of birth in this format. So if we use this command, select employee ID, employee name, and date of birth from this table, then this is what we are getting. Now we want date in a different format. So what we can do, we can use the select date format function. This is the syntax: select date format function, the column name and the format in quotes, and then we have to mention the table. For example, Here you can see that we have used select employee ID, employee name, and this date of birth column has been formatted using the date format function. And this is percent %d, percent %m, and percent capital Y is used for the formatting. And this is what we are getting. So if we use it, this function is being used, then the output is in DDMMYY. So let us see it in our case, how we can do it. So we'll come back to the admin here. Select ID name, date of birth from email, from staff, maybe email also, and we'll click the go. Let us see what we are getting as a result, and we are getting this result. Date you can see is in YYMMDD format. So we want to format this, and to format this, we can use the date format command. How do we do that? We'll be checking this ID, staff name, then date of birth, then email. From table name is staff. So this is a command, but this date of birth column has to be formatted. So I'll be using date underscore format. This is the function. And this function has two parameters. First is the column and second is the format. So now you can see how we are putting date of birth and percent small d. Then I'll use hyphen symbol, then percent m, then I'll again use hyphen symbol, and then I'll use percent y. And let us see how the output comes. I'll save this command. I'll click the go button. See, now it is coming in DDMMYY format. So it is percent %d, percent %m, and percent %y. How? And we have changed this. What do we mean by percent small d, percent small m, and percent capital Y? Let us quickly check with our list of database formats. So percent small d is this that we have used. Date of month, numeric from 1 to 31. And then we have used percent small m, that is month name from 0 to 12. Then we have used percent capital Y, and we have this percent capital Y in year in 4 digits. So if we want year in 2 digit, we can use percent small y. So how we'll do that? Let us see. Again, let's come back to the PHP my admin part. I'll see select ID name, date format, date of birth, and this is the format that we have used. So this is the format that we have used, and this is how we will be getting the result. I'll come here again and I'll paste it, and I'll give it in small y. And then suppose we want okay, give it like this, and let us see. So it is the last 2 digits of the year. So we can manage this way also. So this is how we can manage different formats. We'll come to the format once again. We'll see what are the different formats. So let us see the formats again, and we'll concentrate on what all we can use. But before the formats, the output of this column, you can see the output is coming in date format, and this for other it is s name email, but for this it is date format. So we can change the output of the column. For that, what we have to do is we can quickly use alias for the column names. How do we use alias for the column name, and what do we mean by that? I'll show you. Suppose for this column, we do not want the default output, but we want the date of birth in this format. Or we can use of date of birth. Suppose this one. Now let me see if it is coming properly. There's something, and we put it in bracket. That's why I'm using it. The minus symbol. Yes. Now you can see the date of birth. So this is called alias, and if it has only one word, then we cannot use the double quotes or single quotes. But since this has more than one words being used, so I'm using double quotes. We can use alias name in any column, not only where we have used formatting. We can use it in any columns. Like I'll put the command once again. I'll put it this way. And suppose S name, I want staff name. So I'll, sorry, this is the staff name. So I'll do this way. So after the column name, if we give a space and use any word, that becomes the formatted name of the output in the column in the output. So you can see it in staff name, date of birth, and email. So in this way, we can control our output by using aliases. I'll come to the database commands again. Let us see what all are available. So it is Sunday to Saturday weekday, %A, abbreviated month, January to December in %B. So let us see how we can use %B. I'll come to the command once again. I'll use %B. Let us see how we can use %B. What is %B? It is abbreviated month. So I'll come to our command. I'll come here. So in place of M, I'm putting it B. And let us see how we get the output. So now you can see it is the 3 letters of the month. And how we are getting it? Because we are using %B. This is abbreviated month, January to December. So %D is there for time. Also, we have our minute, second, date and time. Then we have weekday, %U. We can use %U for Monday to Saturday, Sunday. I'll provide you with this list. You can check it, all of this. So %W is for Sunday to this way, the complete weekdays. %Week is for this day. This is how we can use it. We have already used small y and capital Y. If we can use January to December, if we want it this way, then we can use capital M. So let me show you with capital M, and capital M we can have. So I can give it this one. Or, okay, let us try this, and then I'll show you other formats also. So you can see this is the complete month. Again, coming back here. Now, suppose I want it this way. Sunday, 4th April 2023. Suppose like that. So what we will be using? Let us see. For weekday, we have week where Monday is the first day. %U we can use. Okay, %B. Let us try it, and we'll use %B, comma. Then percent D, then we give a space, Saturday, 5th or 4th or 10th, or percent M. Yes. Let us see what is happening. Now see, it is 10th of March 2023. We have to put it properly. I'll try it once again. Then Sunday, day of week is percent W. Okay. Percent W. Damn it. Sunday on 2023. 10th March. This is not coming properly. So we can try it once again for the day January. For week name, week Sunday. Sunday to Sunday. The weekday name is percent W capital. Okay. So I'll put it percent W in capital. I want to bring the name of the day also. So these are the different formats we can try and see. Okay, so it is coming. Wednesday, 10th March 1999, Friday, 10th March 1995, Sunday, 10th March 1998, whatever. So these are the formats. We can use all of these formats whenever it is required. Now, formats is done. Suppose we want to insert a record wherein we want to enter the current date or current time. So how do we do that? So for that, I'll create one more table. Let's quickly create one more table. Instead of the star, we'll have one more table. Suppose we have one more table as a login table. It's created from the command create table login, and this will have username name as we have password. Type user type can have values like guest user or admin or super user. So we'll be using 50, and then we have the date. Date, start date or login date. And this is a date type. So we have another table. The table name is login. We have 4 columns wherein username, password, user type, and login date are the columns. And what we want to save here is whatever is the date of the login, it should be automatically saved. So for that, first we'll create this. Okay, now we'll try to insert some record in it. So insert into login values. The values will be what the column names. We can mention the column names here. If you don't remember, you can quickly expand these columns. Yes, so we have into the column names. We have login date, password, username. So insert into login. First value is username. Suppose Raj. Then the second value is password. Suppose Raj. And third value is user type, suppose it is admin, and the fourth value is login date. So we do not want to enter date. Instead, we want that the system should automatically store the current date. So I can use the current date. So this is a ready-made constant value. So we'll put in current date here. So current date will automatically be stored in the record. Now, if I save it and suppose you want to view it, we can select the login table and we can click the browse button. You can see the login date has been automatically taken from the system. The system has 18th April 2023. So it has already taken, and this has gone in the default format that the MySQL uses. So it will be stored in this format, but whenever we want to display, we can use date format to display it in whatever format we want to display to the user. But it will be stored in YYYY, and DD format. This is the default format for MySQL storing data. Now we have one more function that is now. We can also use now. How to use now function? I'll insert one more record in the same table. So I'll quickly insert into login table. Suppose we have to the username and password. So right and login. The values will be, suppose the username is Rashmi, password is Rashmi at the three, and the type is guest. And then let me use the now function. There is a now function which we use it this way. And let me show you what does it do. You can see it is now function. It is now function. So if you browse it and see, you get the same result in this. So we have a now function which takes the current date and time from the system, and we have, if we want only the date, then we have current underscore date, and if we want time, then we have current underscore time. We have a data type called time, and we have a data type called date and time. Suppose we want to store the date as well as time for any event, then instead of just taking it date as the data type for a column, we should take date time column. So if we create table, I'll quickly show you how. If we create a table, create table events. Sorry, equals to events. It's and ID and type. And Then we can have uh, then we can have one column where then the function, the column has date, time, date, date, time. So we can use date time also, wherein we will be storing both date and time. Now, if we create this table and if we insert some values in the events, I'll write insert into events values. So the event number is one, name is or and now we put in the now function. We will put in the now function. Let's see what it is taking. University.event does not exist. Insert into the table name is uni events. Table name is uni events. One record is inserted. Let us see. Login date. Just see here in the timing, you can see we have now the date as well as the time. So if we use the now function, we get the date as well as the time. So many times in our program, we will be requiring the event timing also to be stored in the database. So there, instead of taking only simple date, we can use date time. And to get the system date and time, we can use the now function. So now function will get this value. And if we want to format this in the output, we can use the date format similarly as we have done earlier. So I'll quickly show once again. Select, suppose event name, comma, date format, date underscore format. And then I will use timing is the name of the column. And then for format, we can use %d, %m, capital Y. Then I'll use for hour, minute, and second, I'll use %h, colon, %I. And let me show you what is the output. You can see it is 12 hours, 48 minutes. So %h and %I are the formats for timing, and these are the formats for day, month, and year. So this is how we can manage. So whenever we have to, we have learned two things. Whenever we have to store date and time combined, then we can use the data type as date time, and to insert the default value from the system, we'll be using the now function. And for formatting the time, we have similar formats for minute and second. I have a list with me, and you can see why I've used %h. It is for hour. If we want to print it in 0 to 12 format with AM, PM, then we can use %h, and for AM, PM, we can use %r. So if we use %r, then it will print in AM, PM format. So this is how we can use different formats. Let me use %r for you, so that you can have a fair idea of what will happen if we use %r. So I'll be sharing it, the whole format with you all. You try to listen to the videos and then practice it, so that when we'll be doing the project work, when we will be doing a project work, it will be very easy, because state and time has got a lot of references here and there in project, and life will become easy if you will practice it now. So I've written %r, and you can see 12 hours 48 minutes 0 second PM. So this is how we can manage the date as well as time. So these are the different functions related to date and time that we have discussed today. Try to go through the video, pause the video many times, try to understand, open the video, open the my PHP my admin, and execute every command one by one, note it down properly, try to get the concepts clear. Thank you very much.